he crushed us. He was great. He had that great run. Got the tip in at the end of the third that kind of gets you going, make you feel good about yourself. And then you hit tough shots, and then you get in rhythm, and the basket looks bigger than it is. You know, Michael is a professional scorer and has been for a long time. And, you know, I played against him with Miami a couple times last year, and he always seemed to have that ability against us in big moments. And I thought the start of the fourth quarter was, you know, he was great.
He's a former number 2 pick. Everybody in the world knows he's one of the most talented forwards in the world. He made shots. I mean, we let him get comfortable, and he took advantage of it, and that's what good players do. I think that was his first game where he probably felt like himself out there, and he took advantage of that.
The Celtics finally lose in the TD Garden. 14-game home winning streak is over. They lose to the Rockets 102-98. Let's talk about it here on the Garden Report, powered by Grandstand on CLNS Radio and Celtics Blog.
Yes, I'm the boss.
Welcome to the show. I am Jared Weiss. I am joined by Jimothy Toscano, as they like to say in the old country, here on the Garden Report.
It's my real name.
Powered by Grandstand. Is that how it's actually pronounced?
Jimothy, yes.
Jimothy? Oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's not
I didn't
my
even
real
know that. So, Jimothy and I are going to break this one down here for you. Before we get into this game, I
A
got
loss
to do the read.
for the first time.
A loss, first time after a 14-game winning streak.
Downer.
I got to do this live read here
Downer
because we
Garden
got
Report.
SeatGeek sponsoring the show today. I'm sure
Okay.
you are all familiar with SeatGeek. The Garden Report is powered by SeatGeek.com. If you've ever been frustrated trying to buy tickets online, all the ticket sites
Which
make it
I
way
have
too complicated.
today, actually.
Yeah, I just paid a $15 fee to go see a $30 Buckethead show at the Wilbur on Ticketmaster, so I'm going to go to SeatGeek next time I do that. So the Garden Report viewers will get a $20 rebate off their first SeatGeek purchase.
Ooh.
To get that rebate, download the free SeatGeek app for iOS and Android, go to the settings click add a promo code, and enter the promo code CelticsBeat, one word, all caps, that's CelticsBeat, and they'll send you $20 after you've purchased your first ticket. So download the free SeatGeek app and enter promo code CelticsBeat today. Boom, redone. Let's talk about basketball. Thank you,
Let's talk about Celtic Beat.
So, and also listen to this week's episode of Celtics Beat with Larry H. Russell, downloaded on
Always a
iTunes
good
or
one.
Stitcher. So, we got to talk about this game. James Harden he scores the 5 points over a 6-minute span, I think it was. The only 5 points in the game over that span, in a real defensive gridlock at the end of this one. He went crazy in the third quarter. Michael Beasley, that's right, Chinese League MVP Michael Beasley came in the second game in the NBA this year, and I mean, I wouldn't say it was an efficient performance. He took 11 shots in a 6-minute span, but he had
10 of 19.
He had a lot of points. 18 points on 9 of 19 shooting
9 of 19,
in
sorry.
15 minutes, and he had 8 rebounds. A lot of those were offensive rebounds on his own miss on that one play. We had 2 of those plays in this game, and I think it was in the fourth, both in the fourth quarter, where the guy got like 4 offensive rebounds. Jared Solinger had a play where he took 4 shots. Hit that last shot, but then Marcus Smart was called for offensive interference, and that was what kind of really killed him tonight. But let's focus on first what the Rockets did. James Harden had a big third quarter, got to the line 15 times tonight, and then he had those 2 daggers, step-back jumpers from the left elbow.
And is that in the third and the fourth?
That was in the fourth.
Yeah, the fourth. Okay, down the stretch there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 guys, we talked about them already, Harden and Beasley. What killed the Celtics was that inadvertent whistle. Rockets get ball, drain the clock, and then Harden drains that dagger. Was it over Bradley?
Yeah. I think
So they had Bradley on him a few times, which, as we know, is one of the best defenders in the NBA. And Harden, as we know, is one of the best scorers in the NBA. Not so much on the defensive end, but offensively, that guy can score over anybody. And that's what he did tonight. He killed the Celtics down the stretch. And, you know, that was the difference, him and Beasley. I mean, Beasley's a guy, I don't know how hard they work over there in China. I don't know how demanding the travel, his schedule is, but he might be coming in at a good time for the Rockets. He might have some fresh legs. Now, he's putting up 30 shots a game. Maybe he's not that fresh after all. He's playing the entire game. But in a less demanding schedule, obviously a shorter season, he comes into a team that's looking for a spark. I mean, let's be honest. These guys have underperformed all year. They've got Howard on the team. They've got Harden on their team. And they're just barely floating above 500, fighting for their playoff lives. May not even make the playoffs still. The Jazz can get it together and knock them out of the playoff position. Beasley's given them a spark that they've lacked, in my opinion. And tonight, I mean, he cut through the Celtics on a lot of occasions down the stretch.
And he got the minutes that Montrezl Harrell or Josh Smith would be getting tonight, and he was very active.
Yeah,
a lot of the
absolutely.
plays were kind of crazy, but he made the plays. And I mean, that's something that Houston's been kind of missing, is just somebody to really step up and be a hardcore playmaker, or at least try to do something besides James Harden. And Dwight Howard wasn't really that guy tonight. I mean, he had some nice plays, but they really relied on Beasley to be that spark early in the fourth quarter to keep going that momentum that Harden brought them into that quarter.
Absolutely. And what's the knock on Beasley's been his immaturity, right? I mean, this guy, he's a former number 2 pick. He has all the talent in the world, and maybe it takes some guys a lot longer than others for it to click. Maybe they have to go to China and be out in China by themselves for a bit to really find themselves or find their games at some point or find their roles. And I think now what you're seeing is a guy coming back for his second time coming back now from China after a season over there. Played with Miami last year and was solid for them, but this year he can take on a bigger role, and if he can be that sixth man off the bench for them, I mean, that's something that he can get real comfortable doing, taking on a lesser role.
Okay, well, the guys that did it for the Celtics tonight, Isaiah Thomas, 30 points
30
again.
points, 5 of 9
nothing
from
new.
3.
Yeah, he had
Only guy hitting shots for
and
them.
he hit that 3 at the end of the game too, which
Yeah,
kind of brought it
kinda
back in, but it was
garbage,
too late
but-
at that point. But Jared Sullinger had a really, really good game. He had 24 points, 12 rebounds, 9 for 18 shooting, 4 assists, 4 steals. He did
Solid game.
everything. He had some
while
really
his
nice
skin is
mid-range
falling,
jumper.
while his skin's falling off.
While the skin's falling off. And he said he was really dehydrated and kind of felt like he ran into a wall after the game. But he was the guy for them tonight. He had a really tough defensive assignment. He was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I mean, this guy keeps playing well, so we have to keep talking about him. This is somebody who majority would tell you that they thought he was out of the rotation when the season began. They thought this was somebody who may or may not have worked hard enough over the offseason, didn't, according to a lot of people, didn't look that much thinner going into camp. Maybe he's not that much thinner, but his wind is there. His shot's falling more now than it was before.
Because he finally stepped back inside the 3-point line.
Right,
He had a big
threes.
deep shot earlier today.
And he's just becoming more dependable. He's up on the glass, going against guys like Dwight Howard. Now it's not easy to go against a guy like Dwight Howard. Obviously, I mean, Howard's not the player he once was, but he's still a force down low, and there's obviously a size differential there. But I thought Sullinger held his own, and especially on a night where Jay Crowder wasn't on his game and then got hurt.
Wasn't in the game.
Sullinger stepped up down that in that fourth quarter. Had some nice little moves around the basket. He had a nice little hook I saw in this game too.
And then, of course, we kind of went over it before. He had that play where he took 4 shots over Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
The last one, which was like the only
Stuck
shot that was
with
like a
it.
really bad shot, it went in, but Marcus Smart comes in and hits the rim. And it would have been a 4-point game if that had
tough.
counted.
Yeah.
And that would have been huge. They would have had a chance. There was like 45 seconds left. But that killed
It's
them.
tough to fault Smart for. You can fault him for putting a hand on the ball or
Yeah.
putting it over the cylinder, but he was trying to be aggressive on that play where so much was going on. He was trying to fight for that rebound. I mean, it was more unfortunate.
Can't make contact with you
can't make contact with it, but I mean, I need to see the shot again. But I mean, that ball was bouncing around up there.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was a swish and he tried to, and he just put his hand over the rim and touched it. But that was tough. I mean, it was so many things, not so many, a few things went against the Celtics tonight. That was one of them. Talked about it already. The inadvertent whistle was the other.
Yeah.
That sort of took them out of their momentum-changing run that they usually go on in that last minute.
And just for Marcus Smart, if you're going to make a play that hurts your team, jumping over like 4 people and trying to slam home a rebound, that's probably the best way you can probably do it.
Yeah.
So
better than a tech.
It definitely, like Evan Turner got, or like Marcus Smart has been getting. All right, well, we got to go to the Grandstand play of the game, Grandstand for fans in the stands. Download the Grandstand app in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, or you can just go to clnsradio.com/Grandstand app. Let's go to that play. James Harden raining it down to beat the Celtics. We'll come back for part 2, and we'll talk more about Jay Crowder going down and what the Celtics did with a surprise rookie appearance to try to get through it.
Felt a little less less fatigued out there tonight overall? Do you feel like close to 100% yet? Or?
No. After the game, I felt like I hit a wall. So just gotta stay hydrated, take care of this infection.